in that setup.
Yeah, but as they said on the desk, if there is a time for Giants to try and shine, it is now against ROCCAT, a team who has also been on a losing streak, albeit one game less.
Exactly, and you know, the real key thing that this sounds a little bit perhaps optimistic, but you've got to look at the standings as they are right now. You've got one team on 1 win, one team on 2 wins above them in ROCCAT and Splice. If you have a good weekend and can get back-to-back games and just go 2-0 on the weekend against weaker opponents, you can actually start making waves. You can actually start pushing teams down below them. And we know that Giants have this style where if Xpepii goes off and goes ham, he can solo carry a team against fairly weak opponents. But they've got to get to that point. That seems like so far away because on the other side of the rift, Betsy, the man on the left of your screen, has actually been having a really good time the last couple of weeks. Even in losing efforts, Betsy's mid lane performances have been one of the standouts for ROCCAT.
Yeah, he has been the shining star. We pegged him that to see what they could do to start these things off. And Airwaks has had a couple of solid games as well. I mean, that I mentioned it earlier, that Kindred went huge. I'm not sure how much that was him and how much that was Fnatic allowing him to repeatedly murder Reckless, but it worked out for the most part.
So at this point, Giants, do they ban an AD carry like the Kalista here, which would force ROCCAT into a Lucian pick, or do they leave both open? Say you get one, we get the other. What would be the other ban that is remaining? Looking at the top level champions that are still available. You got the Tahm Kench still in there. You got the Kindred in there as well.
I have questioned Giants pick and ban phase. The Lulu is what gets banned away, so that gets left. A lot of stuff gets left up now. As you mentioned, the Kalista is available. Porky's off the board. Lucian's up. Does ROCCAT want to go for an AD carry quickly? Alistair is up as well. They can't afford to give both of those over, and it looks like they're gonna eyeballing Extinct's champion.
Otherwise, for Giants, it becomes a fairly easy 1-2 of like Kalista, Alistair, and then you're like, well, now we've got the engage. We just need Peppy to burst somebody down after it. So it's a good start for ROCCAT, picking up the Alistair for themselves. On this side, Giants, Graves is available too. Real big breadth of options here for the jungle, for the top lane.
So is Kindred. See if betongjocke will be able to try and do what Airwaks was able to do last week with that champion. He's not played it yet. It's been Lee Sin, Elise and Graves, but it's worth noting, of course, he's only had 4 games in LCS. So Kalista, don't want to give that one over. I expect this to be picked up, and it is. So 2 AD carries, but 1 for the jungle on the side of Giants.
So that is a mobile and fairly strong 1-2 pick setup here from the Giants. Fair amount of damage coming out here from their AD carry and jungle. Now they have to be careful that they don't just go full damage and go, well, we'll win one team fight and try and win the entire game off it. Now we have to look to their top, to their mid laner. I would like something tanky from a top lane. Even depending on what Fredy picks up, we know Fredy goes towards tanks. If they pick up something like a Maokai, something that can stand there and provide frontline for the rest of Giants, they should have enough damage to be able to balance a team fight.
Adam has really only played Shen in the tank department. I wouldn't
That's true.
too surprised if they go back there. Remember the rework, Shen's still very powerful. Lucian, of course, being left up means ROCCAT should have no trouble taking that for Tabzz, who has stepped in for Saphir, of course, we mentioned the other week, and he has been an improvement. Not a massive one, but he has definitely had a more solid performance. As Airwaks gets his hands on the Rek'sai, another favorite of his, played it in 3 games so far as most played champion. This will be number 4.
Yeah, no real surprises on that lock-in. The Lucian, just to give themselves a decent lane in the bottom lane, and with that Rek'sai, just a standard jungle match.
Really?
Well, at this point for ROCCAT, they're just like, okay, well, we'll just take comfortable picks that do a solid job in not only map play, but team fights as well. Now they've got a good foundation to slot into solo laners on top of that. We know Freddy's likely to go towards a tank. Anything else would be a little more surprising out of Freddy. He's played a wealth of champions. Zac, Dr. Mundo, Fiora, Maokai, Quinn. So he has played a couple of carries in there.
Even at 1 Graves, too.
Yeah, he has played Graves as well. So a lot of options still available for ROCCAT.
Ooh, Giants.
Okay.
They've got themselves some beefy front lines. The Muscle Man in the bottom side for GoDFRED, and they've got a Malphite for Atom. I like this.
Yeah, well, this is the kind of setup that they needed. A tank in the top lane that can just sit there. What you've seen so far is a fair amount of AD. You've seen the Lucian. Well, I say a fair amount. You've seen one carry and it's AD because it's a marksman. So, hey, Malphite, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Can't get kind of picked in that matchup.
Well,
right?
I like the Braum, too, with the Kalista, because even though he's a disengaged support, right, you can still toss him in, and then he's point-blank ultimate, and you can start a fight off the back of that. And if you can combo that with a Malphite, you got knockups for days. It's a bouncy castle on Giant's side.
Yeah, I just wonder what Freddy's going to pick into this. We know Betsy's played the Morgana. in the mid lane. So the Malphite on the opposite side basically gives ROCCAT a neutralized lane. So all they have to do is pick a champion that either will go even or that they can beat Malphite with here. And it's just a fairly straight up situation for them.
All right, as the timer ticks down, Freddy will be going to Quinn. He has had a game on this. Of course, did not result in a win, his only one being on Zac. Curious to see if they can make the pressure happen this game. A decent split between 80, but, well, the AP damage, of course, Betsy going the mid lane, Morgana. This is curious. I wonder what Xpepii is going to take to counter this or to try to go against it.
It's probably going to be the Viktor Morgana lane. We saw one of these, I think it was in Challenger earlier this week, where really nothing happened for a long time with a Morgana and a Viktor. They were just like, yeah, we're just going to clear mid lane, don't worry about us. But it is a champion in the likes of Viktor that can carry a game. If Xpepii goes off and has a good game, this is the kind of setup that Giants could look to build from. They have a fair amount of damage, they do have a front line, but on the side of ROCCAT, they have side wave control. They have the ability to wave clear as minions are coming towards them. So if Giants do not stick on top of the other lanes that ROCCAT are in, that's where they could end up losing the game.
That is indeed, but if they can force themselves some fights off the back of a good Malphite ult or two, they definitely have a lot of damage and a lot of AoE that Viktor bringing in there. Also some target burst and some objective control between betongjocke and Adryh, so they've got the tools. They've yet to pick up a win here, but if ever it was the time, it is now. Time to turn your split around. See if they can handle ROCCAT, who have built themselves also a fairly solid comp, but one that's definitely going to be a bit more in the side lanes for sure.
For sure. I mean, you look at this composition and you're like, hey, even Rek'sai can
You know how I can tell? It's the Quinn. It's dead giveaway.
The Quinn, the Rek'sai, you've got, teleport Morgana for
and cover picks, as you mentioned. Like, okay, Freddy's more tank play, that's fine. But everybody else, very, very comfortable choices, as you see Losark and Fresh shaking hands to walk off the stage. And I'm curious to see how this one shakes out. But why don't you go ahead and tell us who you think will take the victory here? Hashtag ROC win or hashtag GIA win. These two teams may be at the bottom of the table, but they're looking to start their climb back up in the standings. And it all starts now. Day 1 of week 5. We're officially at the halfway point as soon as this one wraps up. So you guys tell us what you think, and let's go onto the Rift to end this day.
Yeah, let's get onto the Rift to end the day.
Eventually.
We'll be getting there. But we just saw a Malphite composition not really go down too
well.
There
we go. We're here.
In this game.
The crowd is still pumped, guys. Let's see how it turns out. ROCCAT, Giants, a duel to avoid, as early as it sounds, even relegation.
Well, you say early, this is the final game of the first half of the spring split. So this is the situation where after this game, we can now look back at what has happened in the past 4.5 weeks.
What a hell of a month, that's for sure, Stress.
It's going quickly, I can tell you that.
Teams, I mean, you look at these two guys, and for Giants, it has just been all over the place. They've not been able to pick it up. See standard lanes coming in here. Again, they need to be able to pick one up and answer it back, but ROCCAT, the story is heartbreak. They have come so close to winning so many times, and especially against that Fnatic squad we saw last week. I mean, this is Europe's coast if there was one.
Perhaps. Oh, I wasn't expecting that one. But
I'm not throwing the Scar quote in. I will save you that.
Don't worry. I think Deficio may have used that one earlier in the week anyway. So that would be copyright gimmick infringement at that point. But, you know, at this game, they don't have the Lulu Caitlyn to fall, you know, victim to. They don't have that massive, super huge range AD carry composition. This, they've got to go against a Kalista and a lot of hard engage and a Viktor in the late game that will start outputting massive amounts of damage. But if ROCCAT get the lead, Giants have shown to be a team that don't really play from behind particularly well. I mean, you keep it in mind, the bottom lane alone for Giants have been a big portion of their gold disparities at that 10 and 20 minute mark. I believe Adryh was down like 3k gold in both games from last week at that 20-minute mark on his own. So it's very difficult in that kind of situation for Giants to hold on to a game.
Yeah, momentum is definitely a big factor for them, but I feel like just looking at the way they played this pick and ban phase, it's definitely one of the smartest ones they've had this split. Yes, they were given some options. Of course, they gave some away to ROCCAT's side. But they knew what they want. They built a clear composition instead of just taking really strange, random things that made us scratch our heads in previous weeks.
I mean, this kind of composition to me is the kind of comp that's like, okay, well, look, let's just try and do the simple things and try and do them well. Let's just try and engage off these two massive engaged setups. Well, one with the Malphite. Don't have the Kalista in this game. We do have a pause.
We do have a pause. So if there's a time for a pause, this is the time. 2.5 minutes and not worrying about too many crazy action. We've had some close shaves as we see. We'll try to investigate what the source of that one was.
Adam's just here like, but Freddy's not on a tank. I was expecting a tank matchup in the top lane. What is this?
Sometimes you don't always get what you want. Freddy has been pretty much all over the place to start this one off as the crowd is still cheering for the wrong team.
They're in the wrong studio.
Yeah, you gotta wait a few days for that, guys. So we'll try to find out what's going on there. But as things unfold, it's standard lanes, no big surprises. You said it yourself, Giants doing a very basic strat. We kind of talked about this for other teams, like Splice, for example. They need to go back to these roots of playing simpler things to try and get the basics, build a foundation, and then you can get complicated. Then you can get fancy. So if anything, I mean, this is the right composition for them to start making that climb back up.
Yeah, it's going towards that route. I mean, unfortunately for some of the other teams that have been in that situation, like Splice, they're like, yeah, we did it with a simple comp game one. Let's go for a Quinn comp. Doesn't work. However, ROCCAT are going for it in this game with the Quinn. We have seen it from them in the past. Not overly convinced, but Quinn is one of those picks that has been very prominent in the top lane, specifically into the likes of Poppy. Ooh, meditation going on.
The Peppy battle nap before the
Peppy's
game.
Like concentrating so hard to grow his power back from his hair, like Samson. Peppy's like, they took my power, they took my hair.
Yeah, he's definitely undergone quite a lot of changes in the top of his head this year so far. That's a really weird way to say that. I don't know where that came from.
Adryh and GoDFRED look a little bit confused at what Peppy's doing right now. They're like, do we need to get in on this? Can we?
There's no Bard, I know.
Oh, okay.
Let him have his moment.
You lost me on that one. I was like, are we trying
it's a really bad impression, I know.
Some kind of psychic trance here between them.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, maybe Peppy's asleep. Maybe that's why they paused. Peppy's just nodded off.
Mid lane AFK, guys. No.
Dear.
So, yeah, just looking. I want to go back to the compositions here because we already talked at length about Giants and what they're trying to do. And for ROCCAT, this is comfort picks. But how is this going to come together aside from just trying to 4-1 or 1-3-1 their way to a victory and stretch Giants across the map? What else are they looking to do?
Well, I mean, what they're looking to do is get the Quinn ahead, get the Lucian ahead, and then have Morgana neutralize the Viktor for a very long period of this game. Morg is never going to win this lane matchup. Just quite straight up. It's one of these matchups
probably not going to lose that hard either.
Exactly. That's the thing is you just sit there and you farm for like 30 minutes and neither tower dies and the rest of the map has to win for you if you want to have any hope of winning this game. If Quinn gets ahead, Malphite will reach a point where she can't be dealt with. If Lucian gets ahead, they should be able to outpressure, or at least, move around the map fairly quickly, get in front of turrets. Yeah. And then Kalista has a bit of trouble clearing waves. Once she gets that Hurricane, you can step forward to start clearing the waves, but it is a little bit difficult.
Yeah, as you can see, talking on stage with Tabzz, trying to sort out what the issue is. We'll get more info for you guys on that in a moment. Hopefully it gets resolved, but yeah, ROCCAT, they definitely don't have troubles in the early game. They don't seem to have too many issues in the mid game, even against top, higher tier teams. I almost wonder if it's kind of that issue where you play to the level of their opponents because they've had all sorts of kind of lopsided results across a variety of different teams so far in this split with that one similar constant being they don't really lose early game. And I guess that's what you can kind of rely on when you're trying to get your Quinn and your Lucian ahead. So that is play to your strengths. That is a valuable thing for them. But Giants have to know this. And they have to know that, their backs are up so far against the cliff right now that they need to take one step forward instead of two back, start climbing their way back to hopefully end on a good note this split. One win can be the momentum changer.
Uh-oh.
And they're smiling here.
Peppy's come out of his zone. He's ready. He's
more powerful than ever before.
He's been charging up for 3 episodes.
Well, I mean, at some point, Viktor's going to unleash a pretty big bomb. Chaos Storm at the very least. I'm excited to see how long this one can go up because there's just so explosive. There's so much explosive power. And you don't always think of Morgana as like a nuke champion, but when we've seen it played top and we've seen it played mid in the past, it's always surprising because people look at, oh, that's a support, right? It's a support champion. Not too many issues. But then all of a sudden, Dark Binding, Tormented Soil, and Soul Shackles, and all of a sudden you're dead. A lot of AP that you can get on that one. And also worth noting, he's running the double teleport. ROCCAT want to play this map, and Giants have definitely not been great at stopping map pressure.
Yeah, that's one thing that they've really kind of slowed down with. They've not been able to keep control of. Looks like we are going back into the game. You can see now that he's back in the zone. Xpepii is there, farming them minions.
See if he can arrive. He was relied on as a hard carry for this Giant squad. Yeah, we're happy to be back. Dark Binding does nail Xpepii, so maybe he needs to check his concentration a bit better as this one starts off. I want to see what betongjocke is able to do with this Kindred choice, because Airwaks was all over that bottom lane of Fnatic. It's still kind of hard to gank a Lucian Alistar. So I wonder if he just doesn't try for something a little bit different. A little low on mana here to try and deal with Airwaks, trying to fight a war on two fronts. One against Airwaks, one against the Scuttle Crab. He wins, though.
Yeah, you can see Airwaks was kind of umming and ahhing. Does he want this trade? Beton is fairly low on mana. If he gets on top of him with the Rek'sai, he may be able to trade damage back, but Airwaks goes, you know what, screw it. Have the crab. I'm going back into my jungle. Not going to try and trade against you. You have a blue buff. It's coming back anyway.
It's a stack. Got one on the board.
Was the stack, so
I mean,
that's one.
Yes. We'll count them as they go on. betongjocke.
Maybe two.
He can counter jungle, though. Airwaks is at his Raptor camp. And he's got a red buff ticking, so he has to get out in a hurry. That little mini Raptor goes down.
Now, that was the first stack, so there wasn't one previous to that, so number one.
Seems like forever ago we started this game, Stress. But we're back. Only 4 minutes on the clock. I mean, it'll be a really slow game, I think, for a little while, since, again, ROCCAT want to play this map. They want to go and rove around and avoid outright fights. Giants want to wait till they hit those power spikes and then start forcing the fights. I mean, it's pretty much the mid lane's going to dictate everything, since it's a farm fest for a while. Unless the junglers decide to go top or bottom and affect the lanes, it's going to be fairly slow.
It could be a slow one, but at the same time, the likes of an Alistar in this game, a Malphite, could get fairly explosive. So that remains to be seen. A couple more, well, a lot more minutes before we get to that point of the game where you get those teleports coming in from Atom. We'll see how his teleport play actually is. It's not something that I've really taken notice of his play at all, if that makes sense. Like, some players you say, like, damn, this guy's teleports are really good. I'm going to hold it to a high standard on teleport play and say that last year, one of the players you really had to look at was like Smeb and his teleports. They would seem to always be on time and always in the right place. Yeah. Nevertheless, whenever you look at a top laner, I just haven't really seen anything like that from Atom. Now he's kind of got easy mode TPs. He's TP in with a Malphite ult.
Press R, yeah, do your damage. But again, this is the kind of thing that they need. Atom, I mean, yeah, he definitely hasn't shown a whole lot in the TP department. He hasn't shown a whole lot, period, but it's worth noting, you know, this guy, they brought him in, had never played Challenger even. He was a highly rated solo queue Challenger level player, but it's a massive gamble. And to replace somebody like Werlip, who had his problems, that's for sure.
Well,
he's out in Challenger now, but he had very specific strengths that Giants knew how to play to. It always is a risk to do this, and you know, we can see it in the results. They've not managed to net a win with him at the top lane so far, but Giants are a team still searching for their soul.
And it is one of those very complex situations. Whenever you bring somebody in that people really haven't seen too much from. You heard a couple of hours ago Jankos talking about Rudy, saying how he's not LCS level for the Unicorns of Love's jungler. I wonder how the top lane players feel about Atom right now. And I feel like the fact that Freddy is confident enough to pick a carry into a tank and just say, hey, I'm going to take this, makes you think that in his mind, he is better than Atom and will be able to win this matchup hard enough that he can carry this game through. So just that weird situation, I'm not putting words in Freddy's mouth, I'm just kind of thinking out loud of whether that is a possibility for how ROCCAT want to play this game. Bottom lane, oh, there's a flash engage.
Yeah, started up, they turn on to GoDFRED as tanky as he is. He gets the stand behind or stand in front as Betsy goes around the side. Level 6, the Soul Shackles were on. betongjocke being deterred. It's going to be a first blood here, and it goes over to Tabzz. Meanwhile, Adryh on the hasty retreat with betongjocke right at his back. Nearly going down here, but they've got the help of Xpepii, and he laser fires them some cover.
Well, there's the first teleport play of the game, and weirdly it was Betsy who said it was going to be a mid lane matchup, stuck in the mid lane, not with that second teleport on the side of ROCCAT.
He says no.
Yeah, ROCCAT take the lead from that. Betsy managed to get the initial chains onto 3 people who all went different directions, which made it just so that ROCCAT had to pick one. done.
Yeah.
They picked the low health one, they got it.
It's classic hunter mentality, right? You just go for the weakest one of the pack, as Adam takes even more damage from Freddy in the top. So already showing what you were talking about a little bit earlier, him just being able to be stronger and bully him out. But I guess we should have known Betsy would have been the one to make the first move. He has been the standout on this team. And on this Morgana right now, gets an assist. Still a little bit up on farm, just tormented, soiling away.
And for as much as Freddy you would expect, oh, you know, Malphite has armor, would, you know, be able to stay in this matchup. Range against melee, Malphite is going to get harassed down by Quinn. If you can get that Q off, it means Malphite can't trade with you because he's melee range. You get, you know, a very difficult situation, and you can just back away with Vault as well. So Freddy, fairly confident in that matchup though.
Yeah, Adam not as rock solid as he hoped to be so far. Betongjocke will go on a little bit of a roam fest to throw down some wards, but he's not confident enough to try and take away the Gromp. Extinkt would be onto him there.
Well, this is an interesting situation. Look at this swap that's happened. Without a tower going down, ROCCAT have gone, okay, let's get our duo lane head him top. Let's just completely try and shut down Atom. I doubt they're trying to avoid Adryh and GoDFRED because they just got a kill in that lane. They're just looking to try and get top tower very quickly here because there's no way Atom can sit in this lane as well.
No.
Like, he can't do a 1v2 at this point. He can get a couple of minions here. Thing is, Giants are coming around with betongjocke as well.
Towers at half
being
health
managed
already.
by Airwaks.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right decision, but they do defend for the time being.
It's just a really weird thing. You don't see teams do this. This is not something that is standard in what we would consider a standard lanes matchup, where the game starts and for the first like 5 minutes, you're in the 2v2. This is very unorthodox out of ROCCAT, and Giants are trying to come up with a way to combat it.
They weren't able to clear the mini wave away, but at dear cost to the tower. Freddy is under this one, and GoDFRED's gonna try to take him out, but a timely flash, and they pull him with the Fate's Call. Adryh says abort mission. GoDFRED has to follow. So unsuccessful gank is unsuccessful for the price of a flash.
And I would understand this situation if... and no, actually, I am starting to kind of see exactly what they're looking for here. So Freddy has his teleport available, so they're looking to neutralize any kind of threat from Atom, but Atom isn't available. Extinct's under the tower.
Yep, and he's not taking any damage. Now he is. Betong and Adam trying to take him out, but there is the tower gone, and Adam is gonna get chunked. Taken out. Betsy gets a kill on the board for himself.
So ROCCAT group on the area where Giants don't have the ability to come across the map very quickly, utilizing their ability to roam. They had the Quinn up there already. Sorry, they had the Quinn teleport available. They had the dual lane up there already. Exhaust comes out.
They still got the Vault on, and you see a lot of damage being taken.
Adryh
is not in a good spot right now. All of a sudden, the health is the same. Freddy is 1v2ing here.
He is, and like, this is how effective the blind is from Quinn. You pop it onto the Kalista. She can't really do anything without hopping forward into tower range. She takes tower aggro, and you can end up trading far more effectively than her. There was no teleport available for Atom either. Freddy, again, still has his, has Boots of Swiftness and the ultimate on Quinn, of course. So he's able to just fly around the map as fast as he wants to at this point. So really weird, but cool play from ROCCAT. I'm actually a bit of a fan of that. I don't know against a better opponent how that would have turned out. I feel like Adryh and GoDFRED should have been able to punish Freddy a little bit more under that tower. But nevertheless, it works out for ROCCAT.
Hey, you do what you do. You can do against opponents you can do it to. So Tabzz with the Rift Herald buff, and in the aftermath of that, they were able to secure it. Dark Binding onto Xpepii, and his health just gets chunked. Dot damage as Tabzz is chunking away at this turret on the bottom side. Adryh and GoDFRED are trying to push him off of it, but he still has so much damage, and the attack speed boost from those minions is making it even harder.
I look at Pepinero, or Xpepii as he's now called, and I don't know, last year he had so many standout performances. Mechanically, he was very good, being able to dodge a lot of skill shots, being able to, you know, output damage just in these insane situations when he was playing like Xerath and getting thousands of damage from the poke. This year, I'm not impressed. I haven't seen one game from Xpepii where I'm like, this is the one we saw last year.
Yeah, and when you're just about halfway into the split, there is no real comfort at any point for this team because they always relied on him. Yes, they had other tools. Yes, they had Whirlip. Adryh had sometimes decent performances, good performances, but everybody else is the same on this team or worse, and Xpepii just hasn't stepped up at all. They will be able to secure, it looks like a dragon here, but it is pinged by ROCCAT. They know this is happening. Obviously not the most contested of buffs, but it will go down. The early smite for betongjocke, but he takes it anyways. But meanwhile, you look at the mid lane, they're taking some heavy fire on that turret, and Extinkt and Tabzz are able to get right back to bot.
And this is another one of these situations. It won't result in a tower going down, but Xpepii being away from mid lane means he couldn't clear the wave out quite as quickly as he normally would, has to go back. And what it did do is allow Airwaks to go into the enemy jungle. He got 2 wards off, now gets 1 deep behind the turret, and he's waiting there to try and dive. There was a ward that spotted him out, so it won't actually come to a gank. But just that roam that Xpepii did away from the mid lane allowed Betsy to push the wave up, and it gives the map control over to ROCCAT. And this middle lane is going to be so integral.
Absolutely. Betsy has been utilizing a teleport very judiciously to make sure he can make plays across the map. As a result, he has netted ROCCAT about a 2,000 gold advantage. See, Fredy and Adam still giving Adam a hard time in the top lane. CS advantage is there, but it's not as powerful as you might think. Adam has still been able to get a little bit back despite getting caught and killed after the tower was taken out. But really surprising or interesting here is Adryh has actually been able to build up a lead over Tabzz, mostly because Tabzz has been on other missions.
The funny thing about that, and I hate to hop on about Adryh's lead, because of just extra gold in general to actually come out ahead. Tabzz, when you look at the gold, so
it doesn't make a
in
difference.
favor, but he's got a kill. He
There
has
you
the
go.
kill on top. And the tower, of course, the global gold.
Yeah. That has meant the difference for ROCCAT here as Airwaks lays in wait. His top tower, a little less than half its health bar if they want to try and set up a dive for that one. But Airwaks is spotted over by the blue buff. He will take out the pink ward. Fredy goes on a little bit of a roaming spree with the help of Valor. Steps over that ward himself. betongjocke knows he's there. Black accordingly. Tower's not going down today.
Not for now, but bottom tower will do.
Well, they're fine with that one. We don't need to dive. We'll just take the objective. That'll be number 2 for ROCCAT. Giants have yet to answer a turret back in this game. There's no openings for them. ROCCAT are covering their bases.
I feel like Giants are yet to answer. I mean, have ROCCAT asked a rhetorical question? Because Giants are just letting towers go away from them. Like, they tried to punish Fredy in the bottom lane, but couldn't commit that just because they started balancing the tower aggro and Adryh got dropped to half health. It's so tough for Giants right now because, I don't know, I just get this really weird vibe when watching Giants that it just doesn't matter what they do. For some reason, they're just not on the same page altogether. They're not actively working as one unit to look to fight back against what their opponents are doing.
It's definitely bitten them in the behind on several occasions. And they really need a win here to try and start to climb back up the standings. You do not want to go half your split 0-9. You heard Cyanide talking earlier about going 0-8, and that's bad enough as it is.
The one saving grace for Giants in this game specifically is we're yet to see a proper team fight. We're yet to see an actual 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 fight where Giants are utilizing their composition. They have high damage out of betongjocke, good damage out of Adryh, and damage that's going to come from Xpepii as well the later this game goes. If the engage is there from Atom and GoDFRED, they should be able to take a fight as long as they don't fall too much further behind of ROCCAT.
Yeah, ROCCAT are, you know, they're climbing up. It's not been the slowest, but it's definitely not the fastest growing league. We always talk about ROCCAT being a much more reactive team, but it's Giants who are making an active play. It's betongjocke looking for Tabzz. He's got the damage. Tabzz just dances around the Wolf's Frenzy, though, and he does not go down. Airwaks here to help defend as well.
Force the heal from Tabzz, but better.
Oh, has to force that flash into the Dragon Pit now. betongjocke on the run. Xpepii looking to come to the rescue here.
Really
Nothing happening.
weird. Betong's Q was still down. I was going to say, weird he didn't Q over that wall, but it was not available for him. So he got the heal, lost the flash for it. Not a valuable trade in the end of it. betongjocke now trying to heal himself up. If Airwaks gets any kind of information on this, Airwaks could look to go in. Look at the rest of ROCCAT. They're starting to close in.
Vault in, up, and it's Betong who is oh so low, but he's got the Lambs are spied on, so he sticks it out, and in comes Adam. Airwaks a little bit low as the exhaust rather is on him. Black shield as well. And this will be a done tower. ROCCAT don't care as much about the kills, but they will secure themselves the last outer objective, and therefore a bit more of the map.
Wave clear was gone. Easy turret for ROCCAT, especially with the extra Rift Herald attack speed minions.
Oh, he stopped the back.
So Tabzz
Oh,
okay,
just
so
playing
that
with him.
was away. Just got a fairly lucky shot off the first one.
Sometimes you just get lucky, and Adryh, unfortunately, was not able to get away from that one. He turns in, looking for Extinkt, but he has to burn his flash. His Airwaks is there. May not be enough. He's ignited now. See if he can get his way away from this. It's going to be the Braum coming in. And will they throw him that direction? No backup. I don't think so. Very, very strange Fate's call.
I am surprised at that ult. I mean, Adryh could just either have autoed or Q'd, hopped over the wall at that point. I don't really think they were wanting to go aggressive on that kind of engage. Really, the only time Giants can afford to be aggressive is when betongjocke or Xpepii is with Adryh at this point in the game.
Yeah, looking at this team, Giants, they're making a lot of individual mistakes. They're making a lot of team-based mistakes. At some point, something's got to give. ROCCAT are still climbing this lead up. They're almost about 4,000 ahead now.
One thing that's been back and forth between these two has been the vision control, but look at the engage coming top lane.
Oh, Freddy, he might be dead. Is he ready to get out of there? I don't think so. 3 Giants are on him, and he's trying to kite it out, but he's taken down. That will be Giants' first kill on the board.
And this is good timing because for now, ROCCAT can't actually answer with anything. They're looking to push mid lane. They did establish vision control from it, so if Xpepii can get to mid lane and clear it out, ROCCAT shouldn't get too much more. But they're a little bit slow on this rotate back in. They aren't able to go through their jungle as a unit, just because of the number of ROCCAT members. But ROCCAT are going, we don't need mid right now. We'll take bot. Adryh recalled from it, and that leaves the tower fairly vulnerable.
Take one tower, or try rather, and then they go and rotate around for another. So ROCCAT aren't able to secure anything else off this, but neither were Giants after the pickup onto Freddy. ROCCAT back out through the Giants jungle, and they will look to try and do it all over again.
It is what the Giants needed, though. They needed just something to pick up a little bit of their momentum, their mentality in this game.
Kill for Xpepii, too. Yeah, that's important. He's the big man. And Extinkt is looking to be the one himself. There is a vault and a knockup. Adam and betongjocke are way too low. There goes the ult. The lambs are spied. Can they turn this around? It's a 2v3 while the fight's on the other side. Airwaks going a little low. Fate's call to pull GoDFRED in. Adam picks up Tabzz. This might be their time to shine, but he's a big rock and he's way too slow. Throws the Q. Freddy flashes, vaults in for a double kill. And now it's gonna be Giants trying to hold it. Very low health bars on these ROCCAT members. A 2-for-1 was what they got. ROCCAT did at least, but they are the ones who have to defend.
Yeah, at this point, ROCCAT are pretty low though. Look at Freddy's health, look at Airwaks' health. They have to back away. Freddy will be back out on the map very quickly. Does have teleport available in case he needed it. But this beginning of the fight, look at how squishy betongjocke is. You have to expect this though from a jungler like Kindred. They're so weak until you get later in the game where they can reliably output damage and heal it back up with extra lifesteal. Atom managed to find Tabzz on his own, but Freddy at the same time was just destroying betongjocke and then manages to flash vault onto Atom for that empowered auto to follow up. And man, ROCCAT are just taking a little bit more from every trade, a little bit more than Giants are getting, and it means that they're very slowly just edging ahead in this game. They're up to about a 4,000 gold lead in this game, and you know, we've spoken about it. Giants aren't the best team at playing from behind. They've really struggled.
Yeah, ROCCAT may be a bit of a tortoise in this game, but fortunately for them, Giants are an even slower tortoise. So that race is a little bit weird, as Tabzz and Adryh try to duel it out minion-wise, and betongjocke is caught. There's a double knockup. The soul shackles are on. betongjocke's on the run, but he's gonna get taken out by Betsy. His second kill of the game. GoDFRED, and that's just dessert. Airwaks eats him up after that one, and they can keep on pushing the tower for just a moment. Giants caught with their pants down.
And this is just such a weird game from the Giants when you look at it. Freddy now getting aggressed upon by Atom.
And when he
does
stays
have
in
Airwaks.
range, Airwaks is going to try and cut off his retreat path, gets the knockup, the Queen's Wrath going flying, but Atom is tanky enough to hold the line. Meanwhile, Extinkt comes around with Betsy, and they can push this turret. We need Xpepii. That's what the Giants are saying, but he's on the other side trying to send the laser. It's only tickling Airwaks.
What I mean by this being a weird game is the Giants are basically sitting back and saying, okay, well, we'll just wait till Xpepii gets fed and we'll be able to deal damage with this team comp that is looking to fight a little bit more. I mean, Adryh has had no pressure on him, which has meant he's been able to farm pretty effectively right now. He's up ahead on Tabzz, but at the same time, hasn't been offering anything, hasn't been offering the engage tools that Giants have needed because the rest of the team is so far behind.
Yeah.
Adryh, this is one of the games this split where he's actually having just a very kind of quiet and solid performance. Neither is he doing well nor badly in this game. Just his positioning on the map hasn't been allowing with the rest of his team any engages to start.
Now, not to mention also blowing a couple of strange fates calls, but now Giants will send 3 to the middle, 4-5 actually there to follow to try and take out this tower, and it's only Airwaks here to defend. There's a flanking teleport though. We'll see if they can get it done. Extinkt around the backside, Airwaks in the picture. Tabzz dashing and dodging around the side, see if he can get anything done here. Betsy a little bit late to this party as Xpepii picks up Extinkt, and Atom will be able to get a kill for himself. Giants collapse in a ball, and then they explode out for 2.
Much better fight from the Giants. They're all here. They had the ultimates available. Adryh didn't even use it, didn't need it in that fight. That is what the Giants need to do in this situation. Make sure that they can pick off some of the targets. They even got the Alistair there through the ultimate. Like, that is the start of what is potentially a Giants comeback, but it is a fair way away. They are 5,000 gold down still, and it's going to rely on fight after fight that ROCCAT play into the hands of Giants.
Have to do something with this momentum. It looks like they're trying to go for the blue buff. Betsy's sending a Dark Binding out. Oops, secured. There we go. Betongjocke will grab it, but Giants have managed to pull a solid fight there, and even though they have had so many troubles coordinating on a team level this year, that is the start of something.
And you're starting to see the inability.
Oh, Fredy! Oh, there is the Lamb's Respite. Fredy is caught in 3 Giants. A shutdown. Xpepii gets the gold. The worst thing that could happen for ROCCAT, and Fredy got a little too eager.
You can see that Giants, however, are starting to struggle with the ROCCAT ability.
Oh! He knew it was coming! There was a pink one in that brush!
Ah, that's painful.
Ouch. Betongjocke finds out the hard way why you always clear your wards.
Okay.
But all said and done, Giants still made good play.
Right, okay, yeah, and I'm going to skip the front end of the point because Giants aren't able to capitalize on the plays that they're making because the top wave is pushed up by Fredy all the time. The mid wave cleared out by Betsy all the time, and Tabzz deals with the bottom wave. So it means every time Giants get a pick or a fight, they actually can't get a turret. They can't go further than just the gold from the fight, which means this is just going to extend the game. That's all these fights are doing, is slowing the pace of the game down. You get one fight, you can't get an objective, you back away. At this point, ROCCAT are going to try and set up a bait around Baron. Or just start it. Baron.
All right.
Well, they know they cleared the vision out.
Yeah, well, one's sitting in the edge of the rocks there. See if Giants can react in time. It's already going low. There's a TP coming in for Atom. Oh, this would be Primo to try and get that ult. He takes it, but it's stolen. Betongjocke with the steal. Channel is in her Frederick on that one. Tabzz in the trapped in the back, but he's able to get the kill. Atom will go down here as well, but not before dishing out a whole ton of damage. Baron secured by Giants. What can they do with it now? It is 3-on-3, and it's just all sorts of chaos. Make that 3-on-2. Giants Gaming come out ahead.
Great steal from Giants, really good team fight that followed, but I have to question, ROCCAT didn't clear that ward out with the sweeper on. I mean, the ward was kind of stuck in the wall. I wonder whether that ward was actually visible from ROCCAT at that moment in time, because that looked like a ward that they would instantly clear out. Nevertheless, Giants do pick up the Baron.
Might be more. Betsy. That is that nuke Morgana. Betsy outplays there, defending the mid tier. But Giants still have this buff, maybe for not too long, as Airwaks looks to try and turn back. The laser fires. Still hits him through the armor. There's the black shield. See if he can get a tunnel up to knock Xpepii out of the stratosphere. He's still got cleanse available. And in comes Fredy around the side. Xpepii is gonna get taken out. Another kill. Chalk it up to Betsy.
And now they just go towards the top or mid tower right now by the looks of it. They're looking to just push this advantage, clear out some of this vision control from ROCCAT. Fredy goes top. The rest of ROCCAT go mid lane. Wave clear not available for the Giants right now.
I don't know who flipped this switch, but all of a sudden these teams are starting to fire on all cylinders. Tower gonna go down here. Giants still without their mid, still without their ADC, lose their inner tower. They look for top lane.
And really importantly here, it's only GoDFRED that remains with the Baron buff at this point. So it means ROCCAT will have one wave that is not as difficult to deal with than that Baron wave. So there is a vision cancellation on that ward icon, which tells you it was swept out.
But
and
then,
the teleport comes in, knocks out Airwaks. Perfect timing.
The same moment the smite came down.
Yeah, such perfect timing there. It was right at that moment, that very moment where the smite was due, and betongjocke hops over the wall. Tabzz just putting damage down from behind it, but it didn't matter because Giants have already got what they came for at this point, and the fight, the cleanup just closes the gold gap between the two.
Well, and we talked about this being what Giants want to do. It's 27 minutes in, they're starting to get to these powerful levels. ROCCAT played completely into their hands, trusting that they would get the Baron fast enough, and they chose poorly.
I can't, yeah, that's,
I mean, that's
I can't say anything more than that. I mean, it's the old P word here. Always fall prey to it. Yeah.
But by the way, this is the first time, I believe that's actually the first Baron secured by Giants this entire split.
That would be quite funny.
And it's so appropriate that betongjocke gets his Frederick on. He had some help, but still.
Maybe.
Maybe there's hope for this team yet, Stress.
Maybe there's...
Check those stats.
Well, we're going to have to see if they can close this game out.
I mean, they got to worry about these side lanes. I mean, Quinn
yeah,
being Quinn.
I can confirm that is the first Baron that Giants have picked up. They've given away 9, and they were like, we're not getting to double digits today, guys.
I know my stats, and by that, I mean Spellsy knows his stats.
He does.
So, Giants grouping up in this mid, but they're not offering any defense on this top side. This is so strange.
You know, speaking of Spellsy, we looked into jungle gravity today. It seems like in this game, Baron was a jungle black hole for ROCCAT because it has been the slowing point of this game. Giants haven't quite turned it around fully, but they are still behind, but they're showing signs of life.
Yes, and there's so many objectives from the take. Only the mid tower. I mean, it sounds like a weird way to put it because you only got one tower, but it's so easy to now push because you can get these outer towers. You can start getting more gold in your pocket. They need to defend this, though, first. This tower up top, very low here. ROCCAT going to try to keep their split push going, but it will be turned away, and now Giants are starting to hit this powerful moment. ROCCAT are running out of time, slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, but Xpepii will be the bastion there that is looking to hold this game. You can see he's got Lichbane, which used to be an item where you'd be like, well, that's a very confident Viktor, but now it gives cooldown reduction as well.
Yeah.
So you Q people, you pop them with the auto, double empowered auto with cooldown reduction.
Got the Rylai's again, too.
Yeah.
That's slow. I mean, and I think this is very safe to say, as you see that Baron power play is not really netted a whole lot as the tower goes down. Atom is actually caught once again. We've seen this one before. And he goes in for the knock-up. Let's see if he can make the play out. Teleport's flying. It's just chaos in this top lane as Xpepii looks for Airwaks, who pops up and knocks him up. Atom takes out Tabzz off screen while betongjocke throws out the Lamb's Respite. ROCCAT are battered and bruised, and Betsy is gotta go Zhonya's now. Flashing over the wall, Extinkt. Atom, this one is gonna be Extinkt going down. It's a 2 for none. Giants, when it counts, get the team fight they need.
But look at what ROCCAT are responding with. They're saying, okay, the fight has gone. Oh, they were looking to push mid, but the recall from betongjocke and the rest of Giants' movements on the map, they actually do push mid now. There was a second guess. They were like, let's push the inhibitor. We think they've all gone, but I wonder, is Dragon up soon? Is that why they're moving downwards? We actually don't have the Dragon timer, unfortunately.
Still broken, guys, sorry.
It is still not there. Okay, ROCCAT is just recalling, running with
These are free towers. I mean, well, they earn towers.
Yeah, at this point, 30 minutes in, ROCCAT won't be unhappy about this, but they do trade the inner tower for it and then the fight, so... I mean, they thought they caught Atom, but you never catch a Malphite when a lot of your damage stacks on top of each other. And Fredy has become a little bit more tanky than before, but he doesn't feel confident going in because he's got to deal with Adryh, Xpepii, who are at the back of this fight, just coming forward, always moving forward through this fight. And Freddy's like, I've got no mana. Yes, I'm auto attack base, but I'm just going to get out of here and live to fight another day.
Yeah, and then ROCCAT sacrificed the cow. There's no getting out of that one, and Extinkt knew it. So with one tower taken down, 31 minutes into the game, they get the outer top. That is only their second tower. So it sounds crazy when we keep saying Giants are turning it around, but they are. 3K is the only goal difference. This matters less and less for ROCCAT as the game goes on. Their power spike, other than the Morgana, it's not quite as much. Fredy did okay, but he didn't quite get rolling, and he over-asserted himself and gave up some kills as well.
The real thing is Fredy hasn't been fulfilling his role on the team for the last 10 minutes. He has not been controlling the side wave, but if there was, you know, the ability to do so, he needs to chunk through that Malphite. Picked up Mortal Reminder, which inflicts that grievous wounds. So is saying, well, I'm going to try and deal with a little bit of that heal that's coming back out on betongjocke's Lamb's respite at the end, but still a tough fought game.
So many times with that thing. I mean, it's like the weird deceptive, not tankiness, but like survivability that you get when you just throw that down when you're at 2 health.
It just soaks time. Oh, Giants.
They've Freddy's TPing. They do have it, but they're going to have to take this fight with Baron in the back of it. Extinkt goes in to start it off, and he is going to make them grab the bull by the horns. Adam goes in, gets the knock-up, invulnerable in the Lamb's spike. Baron's going down. Ooh. It's taken out. No rent. Giants pick it up, but courtesy of Adam, they get that next Baron, but Xpepii will go down too. It is a 2-for-1, and the chase is on. Shutdown gold over to Freddy, sorely needed, and now it's ROCCAT trying to clean this up. Only Adryh and betongjocke remain.
Man, that was a panic Baron situation. It looked like Adryh ended too early.
Oh no, we got a pause. Oh, it's a tense pause. I hate those.
Oh, okay, so that Baron, I nearly had a heart attack on that Baron.
It got taken by Adam.
When you've got a Kalista in the Baron pit, Adryh's like, I rendered, it didn't do the damage. It wasn't enough. So when you got a Baron with a Kalista and a jungler that has Smite, which is always good in a game, around that 1800 is that sweet spot, 2K 1800, because that's when you're looking for Smite into Rend. Rend, you can't out-damage it after that long in the Baron pit situation.
Take a look at that again while we're still in this pause situation. So, Giants started off very confident, but then, oh boy.
I'm pretty much just watching for the Rend for right now, because all of this fight is a distraction for Betong and Adryh to secure this Baron. So we are in super, super slow-mo. Where's the stacks is still there.
Well, we're hearing about why they paused.
Yeah,
right
maybe
now.
it was a
Talking
keyboard.
about the keyboard of Adryh. If that happened, oh, that is unlucky timing.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, they still got it.
Right,
but
I know. Talk about getting away with highway robbery if your Kalista's Rend wasn't available. The rest of this fight, I mean, Giants managed to get away with 2 for now, but we are paused in a situation where betongjocke and Adryh are running away.
Slow-mo.
So at least it makes sense of why the Rend didn't come off. Okay, that's...
All right. Still a very early Smite as well.
I'm still having heart palpitations.
Yeah, I think Adryh is too, man. I mean,
yeah, if he's trying to slamming
why
the
won't
E
it
key,
work? Oh man, I mean, it's a little heartbreaking considering what happened too, because they lose 3 members. They do get 2 away. Yes, they answer back with 2, and it's mostly the wave clear. But they're going to have to mount a pretty big defense with the death timers what they are at 32 minutes in now.
Yeah, that is a real big factor. I mean, you've got Freddy, who is going to go straight to that side lane and look to push. You've then got the rest of ROCCAT, although it is only Airwaks and Extinkt that are alive right now. Betsy with 50 seconds on his death timer, Tabzz with 35, so they may very well look to stick as a unit and just go for 1 lane rather than multiple. Man, it's a tense situation because this is a game that is tipping back and forth with every engage. Every skirmish seems to just shove it back in one team's favor.
But the gold is getting ever so close, if you notice. I mean, right now, we'll just take a look at it. 60K to almost 58. That is a 2,000 gold difference. It was up to like 7,000 or 8,000, I think, earlier in the game when ROCCAT had their very powerful spike phase. I mean, if we go all the way back, it's been 32.5 minutes. But there has really been a lot of action for how slow it looked like it was starting.
Yeah, there has been. And, you know, Giants have gone from having no Barons to getting a Baron and then doubling it all in one game. It's a good situation to be in for them with their objective control, but...
They've had 200% more Barons this game than they have had the rest of the split.
I don't think that works, because 200% of 0 is still 0.
200% more.
Okay, well...
Yeah, it's all in the wording, Stress. It still counts.
I
didn't say 200% of.
I don't.
You don't do multiplying that. You add.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know my math.
They've got 2.
I studied before I got on the desk today.
Okay,
I made sure my math was correct.
Man, I've been out of education for 2
Well, I mean, yeah, you've been hitting the gym. You got more important things on your mind.
Trust me, it doesn't show. Krepo's trying to, you know, get fit with Krepo is in action. It's not working with me yet. I let it slip on Wednesday.
Take a little bit of time. You know, you'll get back up there.
Good. It's fine. Anyway, this game is, as we said, on a knife edge. And it's kind of funny, because we're in another game where Betsy is having a good performance.
Yeah, well, he's not the only one, though.
No, he's not the only one. But again, I think it's worth highlighting, because last year seemed to be a bit of a tougher year for Betsy. With the likes of Gambit, he was either kind of in the shadow of Forgiven for a long part of it.
When he came in like a bit of the ways through, too.
Right. He replaced NIQ, came in, had a couple of good games, had some really good games in Spring Split, and then kind of was very quiet for a while. And people were like, where does he rank with the rest of the mid laners? Where do we place him? Because when you're standing next to Forgiven, it's very easy to kind of go, well, he's carrying, so let's just do whatever he's going to carry this game.
Even when he played more team-oriented. They also had Cabo Shard, too, remember? Like, every lane had a really powerful player, and then Betsy was kind of like,
Whereas
what do I do?
This year, he's like, well, I'm going to play these champions that I want to play because they kind of fit into the meta, and he's having better games. Regardless of the result at the end of it, I think you can definitely say Betsy this year is much improved on his last year performance.
Yeah, but I want to go across the aisle here and take a look at Xpepii because we trashed on him so hard for all, and deservedly for all of his performances throughout this split so far, and he's had a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, let's go back to this game again. We're talking about how big of an impact not having that red hat.
Yeah, this is the replay again. So this is the earlier Baron fight. This was the one that was stolen by Betsy.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
so this is the one where Giants would get the first of the game, and this eventually would give them enough of a platform to build a comeback on. And from this fight, you have to look at ROCCAT and look at what are they doing here. What is this situation for them? Because they started the Baron and look at bot lane. Bot lane's pushing in towards them, so they don't have control over that side, which isn't a massive factor at this point, but it's still another one of these things that adds into the game plan from ROCCAT. Baron wasn't their only option in that situation. They had other options available and did have the teleport on Fredy as well, so they could have looked to have shoved that out, maybe trying to get the split push working on them, but they decided to default to the Baron.
Yeah, and then Betsy does this. Oh, yeah. I love that. Goodbye.
Betsy catches Adryh.
Don't stand on the soil.
Well, everybody's like, it's Morgana, it's support, don't worry.
No, and then all of a sudden you get nuked.
Yeah, I've had that. It's really annoying. It's the same with if ever you play against Annie in the middle lane, you're like, I'd support Annie.
Why is there a bear? Oh, my screen's gray.
Yeah,
it happens a lot, especially to me, unfortunately. I've been trying to pick up that mid lane role. But so just to give you guys a little bit more context on why we're taking a little more time, we're investigating how big an issue the inability to rend had on that fight and deciding what the best course of action is going forward. So for Giants, obviously, they're probably not happy with that. I wouldn't be. But it's a very tense moment all across the board. And assuming this game continues to play out, ROCCAT will have to, then try to siege on with only 3 members against Giants 2. No matter what happens, it's definitely going to be even more action crazy going forward.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty explosive end to the game when you look at it. I mean, you got a 5-2-5 Viktor with a Malphite next to him. That's a team fight waiting to happen.
Well, Adam has had some solid Malphite ults. I mean, you admitted we talked about how it's not the hardest thing to TP and then ult, but going back to those basics, that's what they clearly needed to do. And Adam has also had his best performance. You don't necessarily look at the score and go, oh, that's a great Malphite. It's pretty good, though. He's had almost 100% kill participation, which means he's been knocking up fools like left and right.
Yeah, he has been. Even has that Iceborne Gauntlet as well, so you start clapping people.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he was clapping people to death.
I love that
animation.
Nuts.
It's a good one. It's a really, because you don't, it's not going to do any damage, but it's rock hands.
You just applaud your own kills. It's like, bam, got him, nice.
Oh, no, that's definitely a fun visual.
Wicked used to have a build like that. I think it'd go like Triforce Malphite.
Yeah, but Wicked also had a Hurricane Gnar build.
Yeah, which still, to this day, perplexes me, and apparently is still undefeated on Challenger. But, it used to be that you go like Triforce and you just like crit people and clap at them for a long time. He actually played it in LCS, and if I remember rightly, it had very mixed success, but...
Trying to remember that far back.
It was like last year.
When I think Wicked and I just like go back in my memory banks, I just like...
You go all
Aurelia.
Yeah, you go all
everywhere.
The way back, but,
Froggen just kind of like nodding his head slowly. Yeah, so that's it. Definitely, we'll have to see how this one does shake out. But for both these teams, I mean, a win is just so freaking important. Either team would end a massive losing streak on the back of it, as we see the discussions going on with Adryh. See what will be done. We'll have to get a little bit more information pretty soon.
I'm still amazed that Malphite got the Baron.
Sometimes you just get lucky.
I want to see what we've watched it like twice through already, and I haven't paid attention to the Malphite.
It's going to be some good highlights.
I want to see whether it's like Malphite actually like ground slamming or sending out the cheese wheel, or whether it's something stupid like the Sunfire cape. Because
that's happened before.
Well, we've seen like
with the Shen in Korea, right?
Oh yeah, and the rank 1 Jana tornado that happened in NA season 3. Like that was so really funny. Baron.
I have a great story about like ridiculous Baron steals.
Okay.
This was my old LPL co-caster Frosker, and she used to play top Alistar, like it's really ridiculous, like kind of like Pulse does, right?
I was gonna say.
And she would go. She went into the pit to like try and deny a Baron, and she knocked the jungler out. And with the headbutt damage, got the Baron.
Nice.
It was ridiculous. And then she saved it on like OBS and like played it to me like 10 times. And I was just like jaw on the floor. How did you do that?
Yeah, well, how did you do that?
I mean,
how is this
Stay
game?
away from Baron unless you're sure, right?
That is very true. But how is this game going to finish?
Yeah, we'll have to see. So while the issue is getting resolved on stage, we're going to send it over to the analyst desk to break down what's happened so far.
Yeah, I hate to cut into all your anecdotes there, Pyra, but I mean, we got some fresh eyes to look at the game. As for now, and I honestly feel quite bad for both these teams. I mean, it's been repeated already, both at those losing streaks, and then something like this happens, and you got to just keep a cool head on stage. It's got to be stressful, Trashy.
Yeah, I mean, for Giants, it's not too bad. Like they are coming back in the game, and they're kind of on the upswing. But for ROCCAT, sitting there when they kind of already threw the game a bit, and yeah, it's definitely not fun.
I mean, I'm not really 100% sure at this point about the death timers and stuff, but I still think like Giants is probably going to win this game if they play well, because like they have Malphite against W5D, so I'm not really 100% certain. Why would you want to remake?
Malphite's dead, Kindred's up, Viktor's dead, Kalista is blinking red, GoDFRED's dead, and then there's a dead Morgana and Lucian on the other team. So Quinn is up, Airwaks is up with blinking red, and Alistar is up with not the Baron.
But what is... Yeah, you go.
But what are they going to get off this? I can't...
That's the question. I think it's more a thought of if they got it, and if Kalista would have got the Baron earlier, they felt like they could have done more.
Exactly, like it's about what could have happened, basically, in the game. So it's tough to say now. I'm sure they're all looking at it. Giants are talking about it. We saw Adryh and Scott Parkin having a good conversation before, but it's so annoying as a player when you're sitting in these games and you know, suddenly a pause hits and you feel like maybe something went wrong, and how can you fix it, right? I mean, that's the issue.
Well, what matters in this case is that there's still Baron up. I mean, Baron is still up on 2 people from Giants, and if they can get through and use the Baron to push towers, then it should be a easy game for them at this point.
I did get the note that there won't be a remake. We're just going to continue the game. They're swapping out the keyboard. We'll see what happens. So that is what's going to happen for now. So if we look at the gold is now within 3K gold. So Giants at least pulled that back in their favor for them. What do you guys think will happen?
Like I said, I really don't know about the death timers, but I think if they play properly from this on point out, Giants are going to win this game. So actually, like, remaking the game would have shot them in their own leg.
I mean, they should be able to defend now, get the people to respawn, and then take another team.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off because the players are ready, and we do want to see the game. So back to you guys.
Thank you very much. We are going to get back into this game. So let's take a look as the pause should be dropping any second. We've evaluated, seen that the issue has been resolved. They've switched the keyboard out, but they're just going to let it ride. I still think Giants should be able to defend this, assuming they can get away here. betongjocke and Adryh are both hurting.
That's the question. Betong has his flash. Adryh has his flash and a heal.
Yeah.
So if you could just heal double flash, it's like, we're away, guys. But we are away with this game. 3, 2, 1. The counter is going down, and we're in.
Okay, and they're already getting back.
Off. Okay.
So Baron buff on these boys, and they need to stay alive. ROCCAT are not going to chase this, but they have a wave in the top.
Yep.
They should be moving that way, and they are going to do it. See if the defense can hold. 2 AD carry damage dealers. They cannot afford to get caught, but Freddy's the only one with any wave clear here.
Yeah, well, Freddy is the one with the push on the tower. Does have, obviously, AD, turns into his Valor form, realizes they can't push this through against Hurricane. Kalista backs away. So for Giants, let's take a moment, take a step back. Let's kind of re-go over the whole game as it's been. ROCCAT had the lead from the beginning of the game, got a good early game advantage, started the Baron. Instead of trying to control side lanes, Giants come in and steal the first one. That was first Baron gone. Giants started coming back into the game. Giants then rushed the Baron pretty much just after it spawns the second time, and that's when we had the issue. They secured it, but at this point, Giants are mounting their comeback pretty strong.
Yeah, they sustained some heavy losses, but they were able to hold and not lose anything off the back, but only towers inside the base remain for them. Just taking stock of it once again. They've only secured 2. Remember that bottom outer tier is still standing, but they have the power.
One of the weirdest things as well for Giants is...
You were thinking He-Man right there, weren't you?
No, no, I wasn't
man.
actually. I was thinking back to the El Bandito.
Yeah.
Because that was how Giants won some games last year. They became known really for Baron steals and then Xpepii and the rest of Giants with Whirlit being able to carry. So it's kind of this weird situation where Giants could actually win off a Baron steal game just like they did last year.
Yeah. Would be a rough game for ROCCAT, as they have just not been able to pick one up since opening day against Vitality, who hadn't gotten their feet off the ground. Now, sensing a hole in the defense here. Giants will pick up an inner tower before they even get the outer in the bottom, but Extinkt, he's caught out here, throws on the Unbreakable Will, but he gets a 3-man knockup, and Airwaks on the backside, trying to bait him out. Xpepii gonna flash, and Fredy is going so low in the back of it, but Betsy picks up Xpepii anyways, and now they're just trying to catch back up. Xpepii gets tabbed. What is going on? Turn it around. They've got the fight indeed. Shutdown to Atom. ROCCAT are going so low and dropping like flies. It's only Betsy, and just like that, he's not going to be able to do anything else after he comes out of Zanya's shutdown gold. 40 seconds on the death timers. Bring it in, boys.
Giants are going to get their first win of the spring split as they push into the base. Giants have managed to get themselves off of number 10 and will be tied for number 9 in the EU LCS.
Not to mention, you'll have that tiebreaker stress. One Nexus turret, the other one's gonna fall. ROCCAT just see their hopes sinking here as Giants Gaming find a crazy roller coaster of a win at 35.5 minutes.